Hey y'all, it's your girl Kokoleigh, aka Corn. What's up? What's poppin'? So today I'm gonna record a video with my best friend to talk about my hearing loss journey and her experience. We are at the winery currently, and currently I'm drinking Riesling, so it's gonna be a little loud. The first question I want to ask you, Kyla, what was your reaction when you heard that?
I was like, oh my God, no, because she sings, and I just know you want to hear yourself, and that her hearing was delaying. It was difficult for her singing journey.
Right. And so, mind you, I wasn't wearing hearing aids at first with you. Was I wearing hearing aids?
No, even when she first told me, she felt like she couldn't really hear her voice before she began the process of getting hearing aids. I just knew that it affected her in some way towards her path and journey of where she wanted to be vocally wise.
I don't even remember your reaction at all. I guess you just took it with a grain of salt. That's my best friend. That's her. That's something that she's going to have to navigate with. No one to judge. And that's what I get off of Kyla. And that's why she's my best friend.
Us handicapped people got to stick together. She can't hear, I can't see. So, 1 and 1.
But sometimes we be forgetting about each other's journey, because the last time we hung out, I accidentally blinded her with my camera flashlight.
Blinded me, and I'm nearsighted. So any lights, anything further, don't mess with my eyes.
Kyla, have you noticed moments where my hearing loss affected me emotionally and stuff, and I tried to hide it and stuff like that?
I would say I've seen it in social settings when people are not really aware of your hearing impairment and you're not understanding what others are saying, so you just get in your head in a sense because you're just so concerned about what is that person saying, because sometimes some people can be really fucked up and just be laughing at you and you don't know, and sometimes you're like, am I tripping? What are they talking about? So I've seen you be affected emotionally because sometimes some people, because of the world is, you're just always paranoid in a sense of what is the joke? Is it me or what's going on? Because I don't know, because I can't hear. So I just see how that affects you just in social settings, because you're not always pick up everything that everybody's saying. And everybody was talking about Jupiter and all you heard was stars. So it gets frustrating.
It's really a challenge. As you can tell, I'm leaning in just to hear her, to have this interview, because in settings like this is actually overstimulating to me. And mind you, having a hearing impairment, it really affects you socially, where your anxiety is just always constantly on high. You get what I'm saying? So in the beginning, before I even had a hearing impairment, I was fine. Did you think I was fine?
She has so much confidence, I wouldn't even guess.
Right. So in the beginning, without my hearing loss, I was good. I was okay. I was Gucci. Now I'm like Kyla said, I'm all in my hearing. So the next wine that I'm trying, this is Moscato. I just had Riesling. Riesling is one of my favorite wines. And of course, I love Moscato. Currently, I'm drinking the strawberry Rubert's versus Sangria. And how I feel about it, I feel like it's a sweet, fun, and a nice chill wine. Look, guys, I love me a nice outdoor concerts, festivals, something local. It doesn't have to be too big, just to chill. So, strawberry Rubert's versus Sangria, I think you would like. So if you ever come to Kokoleigh Winery, get the sweets menu. I can do dry, but I like sweet. Okay. The next question is, what is the hardest thing that you think that I deal with hearing loss? Okay, and then do you think people treat me differently?
I think the hardest thing you have to deal with is being able to feel comfortable in social environments and being able to be comfortable around people, because sometimes certain people can be taken advantage of when they have disabilities, and for you it's hearing, and sometimes it's hard to trust people with how you feel or with your feelings, because you could tell somebody now, I have a hearing impairment, but they be talking all different types of multiple conversations, and you be like, what's going on? And they only tell you half. So it becomes more of a trust issue, because with a lot of relationships, it's hard to trust when you really can't fully 100% hear.
And I really feel like it's true. My hearing impairment do affect my relationships because of lack of trust that I have. I'm missing out on feelings and conversations and stuff, and I don't know if anybody is playing me, and so very hard for me to trust somebody. So I'm currently at this independent baddie shit. Okay? I love chocolate. I really love chocolate, and I had to get me a little bit chocolate. I'm feeling a little tipsy right now.
So drinking vodka. Cheers.
Pear with tacos with chili and lime. Okay, it is giving tropical vibe. It's giving the fruit gusher vibe.
Did you try your chocolate?
Not yet. I'm gonna try that in a minute. Not yet. Truffle. Let's see if I like it.
If they had a whiskey bar tasting, everybody would be drunk.
Hey guys, so me and my best friend Kyla, we gotta get some food. We gotta soda up. We can walk there, so we'll be insane. We're gonna get some food. We're gonna Magnet fly. Me Santa sliding.
See, you lost me there. Chicken wings and fries or mac and cheese. Yeah, Brussels sprouts.
I do like the fries and the mac and cheese with the Brussels sprouts, so I might do a little that right.
And it must know you here because they playing Purple Rain and you got Purple Lip.
Purple Rain.
No, they're playing that Purple Rain. But it's on Purple Rain soundtrack.
Right.
Same soundtrack, but different song.
Let's talk about Michael Jackson.
You know what? I'm not that big of a Michael fan.
I like both of them.
I love Prince.
I love Prince and I like Michael Jackson.
Prince.
But Michael Jackson over Prince, but I like both of them and I know all of their songs.
I love Prince because at the end of the day, I had a little crush on Michael, but he just kept changing his face. And
You don't get vertigo.
No, I'm talking about the nose job.
Got you.
I'm not talking about the skin
But you gotta understand the trauma that he went.
That's why I like Prince, because Prince was still traumatized, but we know what Prince looked like through all phases of his career. Michael Jackson.
But you gotta understand that his daddy was a dick.
He was an abuser. But I like Prince because I feel like he gave a variety of music. He gave
Michael Jackson did too.
But Michael, he was groomed into mainstream music. Prince,
he can still be groomed into mainstream music, but he was gifted.
He went to mainstream, he went to underground, and he really called out the people. You didn't see, Michael was forced to do a lot of shit. Prince was told to do some stuff because of the contract here and there, but he still float at his own boat.
And Michael Jackson did the same.
They're both good artists. I can't compete from one art to another. All I know is that I stepped on the more of the principles that Prince and what he put out on the earth of what his morals was.
But I feel like Michael Jackson was more, he was mysterious, and that's why I like Michael Jackson, because I like mysterious. So lit that I forgot that I ordered buffalo dip.
You ordered buffalo dip and some wings.
I am very pitiful, but let me try this buffalo dip out. I'm at Maggie McFly's Guide to the Beach in Haven. I'm a fan. I'm a wing. It's gonna be boxed up because I'm deciding that I'm gonna stay home. What's a moment about my hearing loss that you will never forget?
One time you were talking about how you really couldn't hear your tone due to your hearing impairment. By the time you had headphones, by the time you had your hearing aids, it was just more, I remember you would just be so frustrated within yourself of your music journey because you were not able to fully hear yourself. I honestly feel like what really stood out to me the most throughout the journey that really stuck to me that you had an issue with was because it dealt with your singing and you're being able to progress in your endeavors in singing because you're not able to fully hear yourself and be able to really hear the music as what you wanted to sound like because sometimes it can be difficult. But I think that's all I would have to add as far as a standout moment is when you just get so frustrated because you want to work on new endeavors with your music journey and the fact that you're finding more struggles with your hearing impairment, it could be complicated overall in the path of trying to achieve the goals that you have set out for yourself.
What advice would you give somebody that has a friend with hearing loss?
My best advice to somebody who's dealing with a person who has a hearing loss or disability is to give patience and be able to give them to a platform of knowing their social cues of when to understand if they do feel uncomfortable. Because at the end of the day, this is my bitch. If she feels uncomfortable in a social setting, I have to understand her and learn her in a sense to know her social cues of what does that sound like. Is she picking up what they're saying? Is she confused? I have to be really aware of her physical body language of how she is in a social setting, and then also be empathetic to her situation because I'm blind. I got bifocals and astigmatism, and sometimes I be like, girl, what did I say? And she be telling me, and she has to be understanding in a sense to understand that I can't fucking see. I don't need somebody to show me a seeing test to understand that I can't see. I know I don't have the best vision, but the fact that she doesn't have the best hearing, it is a big factor of making sure she is a part of the conversation, being a part of what's going on and not making her feel left out. So as my advice, making sure you're empathetic and understanding and always have your friend involved into whether they can or cannot hear. Just, hey, this is going on, or repeat something that has happened. Even if you have to read it 16,000 times, bitch, you gotta have to read it because she can't hear. It is what it is. You just gotta be supportive. Period.
This is gonna be the very last question because we are packing up our food and we're about to head out. Okay. Kyla, what is your advice for someone that needs hearing aid but refuses to wear hearing aid? What advice would you give them? How would you help them out?
I say never feel discouraged because you need to do what's good for you, what's best for you. Don't be discouraged that you have to invest into yourself to be able to hear. At the end of the day, nobody's going to be your advocate but yourself. If you can't hear the conversation, speak up for yourself. If you feel like something shady is going on, it's not being messy to just ask questions. Always stand up for yourself and make sure you're your best advocate because that's all you have.